Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, in this episode I have something a little different that I was going to share with you guys. Let me take you back here and give you a little sneak peek. You might be able to see it in the background. Not sure if some of you recognize this car, but my good friend Sherry R from Canada has come down across the whole United States, traveling his car all through the various racetracks in California down to Texas so far, and has met up with me to check out my car and do some car talk and hang out and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you his car on my channel. So let's take a look at it, and I'll have Sherry go over his car in detail. So let's take a better look at the car. Alright, so give me a little history on your car and your project.
So basically this car, you can say, is roughly based on my E55. I used to have a Time Attack E55 before this that I used to compete with at the CSCS, and yeah, basically a track car that I also used to compete with in Time Attack. But one day I was at the track and I blew my engine, unfortunately. So after that I was rebuilding the engine. I had the whole car apart, and after rebuilding the engine I didn't feel like putting the engine back in that car because that car weighed like 1,800 kilograms, so I thought, why not use that opportunity to put this engine in something much lighter, much more appropriate for track use, and that's really where this project came along.
So so you've basically have designed and built this whole chassis from scratch, right?
Yeah.
So look at all this, guys. So he's welded and done all the tube work and has done a lot of the suspension analysis to figure out, you know, the exact geometry it needs to be a really awesome track car.
And well, yeah, the design really started off with taking the car apart, weighing all the components, like weighing the engine, the transmission. The transmission actually was one of the things that was originally I was planning to use an automatic transmission from an E55, but then later I thought, in a car like this, why not put a manual transmission? So that was one of the first things that I did. I swapped out the automatic transmission for a manual transmission from a 350Z. And yeah, after that, the first thing I did was I weighed all the components, weighed the engine, weighed the transmission, the differential, and figured out where all the components had to be placed to get the most ideal weight distribution. I wanted to go with the 50-50 weight distribution. And yeah, based on that, the components were placed accordingly, and the final weight distribution I ended up with was 51 at the front and 39 at the back, which is pretty close to my goal, but yeah, 1% off.
Yeah, that's a great 50-50 weight ratio, pretty close. So here's the back, and I'm actually filming on his camera because my camera doesn't handle low light very well, and its sun has gone down with some clouds. So we're filming behind my house at the moment, and you can see the blade in the background. Alright, so this is your rear end setup.
Yeah, the rear suspension, I would say, was probably the most difficult part of this whole build because it had to be a multi-link suspension. It's the spindles are taken from the E55 because that also had a multi-link suspension. But getting the geometry right on a multi-link suspension is a pretty complex thing to do because like you have individual links, and of course they have to be aligned properly to like achieve your proper geometry that you want to achieve. So yeah, I just had to take a bunch of measurements from the spindle, put them in a software, analyze how the wheel was moving, and based on that figure out the attachment points on the chassis and everything to make the suspension work properly. So at the front it's a double wishbone pushrod suspension, but at the back it's a multi-link pushrod.
Yeah, this is a very complicated multi-link suspension, which I don't know if I can get a light on at the moment, but basically there are different connecting points to the upper ball joint, creating kind of a virtual ball joint in this system, and then I believe the same is true on the lower.
Yep, that's right.
And then he's got a pushrod suspension setup that goes here to some very tiny shocks.
Yeah,
so
they're motorbike coilover shocks.
And then one interesting thing that I find, you know, very just ingenious is he's got an air tank back here for the shifting system. So he's actually created a pneumatic automatic shifting right?
Yeah.
What's the best way to say that?
Pretty much, yeah. Automated manual, I guess, would be the best way to put it. So basically, there's pedal shifters behind the steering wheel, and when you press these buttons, what's supposed to happen is that these pneumatics, like, they get pressurized, and then they do all the gear shifting and the clutch, and also the rev matching for you. Right now, the system, I'm not using it because I still need to improve it a little bit. Like, I need to add linear potentiometers on both these axes so that the circuit knows the exact position of the gear lever. I did test it out, but after testing it out, I've just left it out for now. I'm just using this gear lever to shift the gears for now. But later, hopefully once I get back to Canada, I'll get started on this system again and yeah, try to finish it up.
Wow, that's so awesome. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So now this the engine again. How much power are we talking about on this engine?
So right now it's somewhere around 550 horsepower, but that's not the limit of the engine. It's actually the limit of the clutch. So the clutch that I'm on, it was rated for 490 torques, and when we had the car on the dyno, it was yeah, reaching 480 wheel torques. So that's why we did not want to go any higher than that. The boost is at the lowest boost level possible for the setup. It's at 9 psi. So that's why so far we've just stayed over there. We haven't gone anything higher than that. But yeah, the engine is capable of taking all the way up to, well, in my previous setup I have tested it up to 15 psi.
Wow. So this is a twin turbo system like on the Blade, so he definitely has the capability of going up much higher in horsepower if needed, but I'm not sure you really need that for the track.
No, yeah, after driving the car, it's quite a handful, even at 550 wheel horsepower. Like, I guess in a heavier car, you don't really realize how much power 550 wheel horsepower is, but in a car like this that only weighs like 950 kilograms, about 2,000 pounds, you really feel the power. It's a lot of power for a lightweight car.
Wow. So through your adventures to the United States, what all of the tracks that you have gone to so far with this?
So the first track day was Willow Springs, but it unfortunately started raining over there, so it wasn't too good. The second one was Laguna Seca. That was the first dry one. And Buttonwillow, I had to go there. That was supposed to be the first one, but I didn't really get into where time attack was a global time attack event.
Great. And so we just actually got back from a private racetrack near my house, which is kind of like a country club, and we went out and kind of took a overview of that area and talked with a lot of people out of the track. So we'll definitely include some footage from what we did out at the track there and what we saw and the people we talked to and things, and it's pretty amazing seeing all that stuff. And we're actually taking this car out on the track tomorrow, yeah, and going to see what it does on this track, which is a very technical track. But yeah, I mean, this is an amazing build. He did this really fast. How long did it take you to do all this?
So yeah, I think the chassis, I started on it this February, so it's been less than a year. But if you include the engine rebuild and everything, then it has been slightly over a year. Okay, so
that's a lot quicker than me. So that's not too bad. I mean, taking a year to build something like this is amazing. He has actually created all the carbon fiber panels on this as well, and that's another thing, is the whole body is not on this. And I'll throw like a screenshot up of his actual concept rendering of the vehicle, so you guys have an idea of what it's going to look like with the full body attached to it and everything. And yeah, so wow, this is it's pretty incredible. The radiator sits flat to the ground, and it feeds in the air underneath.
Yeah, all this ducting work and even some of the body work for now is temporary. This is just so that we were testing it out on track. Most of the aerodynamics, well, that's the part that the car is at right now, figuring out the aerodynamics, seeing how much like front and rear downforce the car needs to get it stable, because so far what I've been seeing on the track is that there's a bit too much front downforce and not too much rear downforce. So that's why in the low speed corners the car is really stable. It's gripping really well and handling really well, but in the high speed corners the car does need quite a lot more rear traction. So we've made a rear wing for it right now. We haven't put it on. It still needs a bit of work. And after that, well, the next thing to do is to finish up on the bodywork, complete all the overbody aerodynamics, and then yeah, basically get the aerodynamics figured in.
Wow, that's amazing. So so yeah, so here's some of the additional ducting for the intercoolers. Go through here, and not really a lot of crazy cooling on the car. I mean, it's really simple setup, which I like a lot. It's a lot easier to maintain at that rate.
Yeah,
and
well, temperature-wise, the car is he's staying fine. Like even doing hot laps around Laguna Seca, I haven't really seen anything going crazy with the temperature. So it definitely doesn't seem like the car needs any more cooling than this. But we'll see how. Like once we do more track days, obviously things are going to come up, and then.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's using the same brakes from the E55, and are they 6-piston?
They're 8-piston caliper.
Oh, they're 8-piston.
Yeah, and 4-piston caliper at the back.
So they're similar to mine. They're ASL brand
Well, they're
brakes.
Brembo brakes. ASL is the name of the car. The car is called E55 ASL.
Oh, did you paint that on there?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're Brembos.
Well, that's weird. They look a little different than Brembo. They're a little more blockier than the Brembos I'm used to seeing. So.
Okay. No, these are the ones that came stock on the E55. They used to say AMG on them. Like.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay. So he's got the exhaust exiting out the front. Right behind the engine, just out to the side. Has that caused any, is it burn your eyes when you're on the track or anything?
Not really, you don't even feel it, because you're wearing your helmet and everything, right? So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had any.
Yeah, there's no front windshield or anything like this, so this is a true open wheel race car. Wow, it's getting dark fast, it's crazy. All right, so.
Well, I guess the next thing is for you to get in the car and actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to try to get into the car tomorrow at the track and see how I fit, being 6'4". So it is a pretty long wheelbase vehicle. I think you said, what, 108?
Well, I know in millimeters it's 29-30 millimeters. I believe
Okay.
in inches it's I think around 117.
Oh, 117.
It would be,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll do the conversion on that, and I'll put it up on the screen. So, so anyway, all right.
The blind corners are like scary almost.
Yeah.
You don't see the braking zone up until you get.
All right, guys, so we finished doing a track session out at the Motorsport Ranch racetrack, and we've brought the car in. That nice McLaren passed by. If you guys can hear us over that. Oh my God.
Now they definitely.
So there's actually a ton of McLarens out here on the track as well, and doing some testing, private testing, I guess. But anyway, so we've come in and brought the car in from testing and getting ready to pack it up.
So yeah, did a few laps out there. I wasn't completely used to the track, so pretty difficult learning a new track. Well, this one was, I think, particularly I found it a little challenging because it's a pretty slow track. Like the ones I've been going to since the previous few days, they've been like really long tracks like Laguna Seca or Willow Springs. But still a really fun track. The car was handling fine, but the rear toes seemed out, which we later checked and they were out. So that's something that I'll need to fix. It was a alignment change I made at Laguna Seca, and I never adjusted the toes after that, so it's because of that. But other than that, the car was fine, but it's just that we ran into one small issue after that. There was an oil fitting on the front of the engine that started leaking, because of which we had to come in and check. There was a bit of smoke coming out from the front, and yeah, it's a fitting that has cracked. So unfortunately we can't tighten it and fix it and get back out, so we'll have to actually replace that fitting. But yeah, that's something that we'll have to do later today or the next day. The other thing you may have noticed on the car now is that we have that rear wing mounted on, but we weren't driving on the track with this rear wing because, well, it's a little flimsy right now. We have to still work on the attachment points, the mounting points of the rear wing, and also all these things. This is literally going to fly off if I go on the track right now. So well, that's going to be the next thing coming on this car, like working on the bodywork and on the aerodynamics, so improving this rear wing, making it strong enough so that it can actually, well, stay in one piece at 200 kilometers per hour, which is 120 miles per hour or something. So yeah, this is going to be everything for now. But if you guys want to stay tuned on this build, you can check out my channel. The next part coming up on this car is going to be well, first getting it back to Canada and then starting work on the bodywork and everything, and finishing up on the aerodynamics.
All right, so there you have it. This is Sharar's ASL or SK ASL or E55 ASL. I keep wanting to call it BMW. It's a Mercedes engine. I don't know what up with that, but anyway, so we've had a great time just testing, and it's been wonderful visiting and catching up and sharing all the different ideas between our two projects, and just you know, getting to know each other, and all the different things that, you know, he's gone through with his car, and you know what I'm doing with mine, and you know, we have a lot of things that are very different, a lot of things that are common. So it's been wonderful getting to know another YouTuber that is doing the same thing, and then actually being able to come out to a nice racetrack and test everything out, you know, as far as the car goes and all that. So anyway, we're gonna close it up here, and we're gonna go back and work on a few things with the car, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Say bye.
Yep, see ya.
See ya.